Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of the syndicated talk show, People of Distinction. The talk that gives you an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, alcoleenterprises.com, for more info. Email me through benji@alcoleenterprises.com if you'd like to get involved with what we have going. And as always, please continue to like and follow our broadcasts. People of Distinction is internationally syndicated solely due to the love and support that you all continue to give. We're available across all major distributors, and as long as you keep following, we're going to continue to put out the content. Now sit back and strap in, because on the line with us today, we have the impressive Kyle Swigart. Now we're going to be discussing Kyle's incredible book, Paradise Lost. It's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble, man, it's a lot of other places, and it's one that you need to add to your shelf. Be mindful, this is just the tip of the iceberg, because, you see, Kyle's working on another book. Now, it's really going to be an extension of Paradise Lost. As it currently stands, it's more of a memoir, but he's developing something that's going to be a little longer and more of a novel. So trust me when I tell you, pick this one up today, but check back in tomorrow, because, man, you're going to want to get the other one the moment it's available as well. I quickly want to point out the fact that Kyle was brought to us by one of the best publishing firms in the business, Citi of Books. So for my writers out there who have gone through their process, if you need some assistance moving that book you developed, man, head on over to cityofbooks.com and gather all of the ways that their fantastic team is going to help you do just that. And listen, it is an absolute pleasure to have Kyle here on the line. I was telling Kyle on the pre-screening call prior to the interview, it's like, most people, when we see Hawaii, when we hear about it and we picture that postcard perfect beach, that's the vision that we get. And listen, I get it, because I remember myself, I'm not a Los Angeles boy born and raised. I've been here now for almost 20 years, but I remember prior to coming to LA, man, I had that exact same vision. I looked at it from an outside perspective and I'm like, man, there must be celebrities everywhere. It must be a perfect life and this and that. And then you get here, you realize things are just a little different. Now, don't get me wrong. I love LA. I don't got any intention on leaving. But once you're there and you're in the nitty gritty, it might be a little different. And that's where Kyle comes in, because his story flips the script. He pulls back the curtain on growing up in Hawaii, right? The real world Hawaii that a lot of us don't know, because we only get there a short glimpse in a vacation form, right? He's going to talk about family struggles, identity battles, and the grit it takes to thrive in this quote unquote paradise. Okay. So sit back and be ready, man, because this story is going to make you rethink resilience and so much more. Whether you've ever felt like an outsider, faced a broken home, or you just love a great underdog story, this book hits different. So sit back and strap in, because you're going to want to add it to your shelf in just a moment. Kyle, first and foremost, welcome to People of Distinction, and thank you very much for being with us today. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Appreciate your time. Again, Benji, it's a big accomplishment to be able to be on your platform, and
I appreciate it.
On my story.
Kyle, listen, man, your story is one worth being told, and I appreciate the kind words. You had to write it for us to invite you here, and we're thoroughly looking forward to the discussion. Let's start off. I always say the foundation, which is great to build off, is learning a little bit about yourself. This is a memoir, so we're going to cover your background as well as the book all in one. So let's jump right in, man. Paradise Lost. Tell us more about it.
So my book is basically, it started when I was 13 years old, and it goes into my life when it all got flipped upside down. I grew up on Kauai, and there's a lot of beautiful things about it, and everything was pretty structured, pretty standard. I grew up on a two-person mom and dad, but then at 13 was when I got back from where the place of birth was, actually Guam, and that's a whole nother story when my parents decided to move from California to Guam and then to Hawaii when I was approximately 4 years old. But at 13, I got into the truck, and my dad told me my parents were getting separated. And it wasn't something that I ever thought was going to happen. You always picture your life as being that young, Things are going to be perfect. You're in your childhood. You're not expecting any sort of huge changes in your life at 13 years old or whenever, in any young age, Benji. So that was a huge shock finding out parents are getting separated. You have two loving parents at 13, and all of a sudden, what did you do wrong? You start looking at yourself like, what did I do to cause all of this? And it took me a long time to realize that and go through steps and realize that I have to talk about it. And the book is starts at 13 and getting my life flipped upside down and going through, I went through anger. I lashed out at my mom, my dad, all my friends, my sister, my brother, because I didn't know how to deal with it. And on top of that, being a minority in Hawaii, because culture is a lot of Filipinos, Japanese, Portuguese, Hawaiians, and sometimes you don't feel like you're part of something. And I had a lot of really good friends, but still when you're at that age and, you're being called haole or things of that nature, it hurts.
Yeah,
and
of course.
When you're young, you don't understand or grasp the meaning behind it. And it's just how people say things. Because if you look at the actual definition of haole, is foreigner, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So that can be Japanese, Filipino, Portuguese, anybody who's not native Hawaiian, technically. But throughout the years, haole has become the term for a white person or a person coming from the mainland. Yeah, it was a struggle. And the book talks about just going through life, going through high school, feeling never, no matter how much you try to fit in to different cultures, there's a lot of people, a lot of really good people that accept you for who you are, but part of the culture here, there is a lot of ignorance just like in the South, anywhere where there's not a lot of people that they never leave the island, or there's just been so much. If you look at the past history in Hawaii, there's been a lot of the legal overthrow that is not really talked about. So when you see Hawaii in the tourism aspect, you're being served. You're paying people to feed you drinks at the hotel, or you're paying for the treatment at the spa at the hotel you're at. So you don't really get to see the culture as a whole. You're paying for that service.
Right.
You're not seeing a lot.
Kyle, listen, man, first and foremost, I'm going to thank you for everything that you said and for writing this book. You're not looking for praise. I get it. I'm going to give it to you anyway. But here's the thing, man. I love what you're talking about because it's universal. I mentioned also to you on the pre-screening call, listen, being a black man raised in this country, I had my own share of adversity and things that I experienced. Here's what's so crucial about what he's talking about. People, it doesn't matter where you are, the community in which you come from, the color of your skin, your experiences, I'm sure you can relate to that. Because when you're in a community where you feel quote unquote foreign or you're treated as such, man, listen, I don't care. You could be a white person and you still get that prejudice, right? You still get that discrimination. And there is something that is so raw and something that is human about what you're talking about. And this is going to lead into my follow-up question, Kyle, because listen, I'm very glad that you wrote this. You're sharing your experiences because, as I mentioned, you're formulating a bridge that so many are going to be able to relate to, and it's going to resonate. Here's the thing, man. As much as I appreciate you writing it, let's call a spade. You didn't have to. This could have been something you verbally told those around you. Why did you feel compelled or inspired to write it?
Thank you, Benji. That's a really good question. For a lot of time, I spent just dealing with that frustration and anger within myself.
Yeah.
And this book was therapy for me to a certain extent. Like it let all that feelings I had for so long out that I was afraid to share with family members or friends because it's deep.
Right.
You want to know that these people aren't going to lash out at you or treat you any differently for how you grew up or maybe how you feel. It was just and I needed to know, I needed to let it out to let people know, like, we all face adversity and how we use that adversity, how we face those struggles. We can use it as a negative or use it as a positive.
Absolutely.
So, like, I'm a dad now. And my mom and dad, I love them to death. They passed away, but it's knowing that I don't want to repeat how my dad didn't talk to me for a month because I didn't want to go surfing.
Right.
Or having to deal with the wine bottles, trying to find the wine bottles in the cabinets and trying to get rid of them so my mom couldn't drink. Like, knowing that, hey, you know what? I can't be like that with my kids. I don't want to repeat that. I have to be a good communicator. I have to bring out the positive in who they are and let them shine. So letting people know that you don't have to go through, you don't have to repeat history. You don't have to repeat what you went through, and use that as a positive. Okay, you know what? I don't want to be like that. I want to be better than that. I'm going to find a better way. So I try to use all the negatives that I dealt with throughout my life and refine them and make them positive. And it's a driving force to be a better person for my family and my community as a whole.
That's real. That is real. People, I'm telling you, it's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble. The book is called Paradise Lost. Head on over there, pick it up, check back in frequently because there's more on the horizon. And this is one, as you can already tell, man, the passion in his voice is enticing, but the message is to be found within. Man, I'm telling you, man, this is one you're going to be able to take to the bank and be able to grow and learn from. I want to now take a second here, Kyle, because you mentioned the adversity. You mentioned what you're wanting people to take from the book. And listen, the beautiful thing about art is it's always open to interpretation. So one person can read your story and be able to pull 10 things from it. Another person's going to be able to pull 30. I want to hang here for a second. You talk about a lot of the adversity that you faced in your life, in your book, and you churned that adversity into almost into fuel for success, if I can use that. And very good. I want to know, man, was there a specific moment when you realized your struggles could actually make you stronger and you could build from them?
I mean, there was a number of things. My grades in high school weren't the best because I was going through identity. I was going through what is my purpose in life. But after I graduated, I decided I'm going to join the military. I was like, I can't pay for school. My parents aren't going to do it. What am I going to do? How am I going to be a better person in life? So at 18 years old, 19 years old, I joined the military, went to Fort Benning, and going through that, I think that was a huge accomplishment. Just knowing something you can do, you can be whatever you want to be. Being placed in a cattle truck. So they call them big cattle trucks. So you're put into this huge cattle truck with a bunch of other young men like I was, like trying to figure out life. Being in that cattle truck and really going through people yelling at you in your face, telling you got to do this, get on the ground. And it's just, your mind is going all over the places. But then you realize, hey, you know what? I can do this. I can make it through this. I can get through anything in life. If I can get through people yelling at me, if I can get through graduating high school with not even believing that I can get good grades, going to college, adapting my hardships, knowing that, hey, if I can get through my mom being an alcoholic, right. And for me, like, I don't drink at all because of that. I might have one or two just as a social thing, but I know that addiction, it runs in the family.
Yeah, of course.
It can be in me, but I know that, okay, you know what? For some people, it's just they can't even have one. So for me, and then let me move on from that. So I graduated, I got a bachelor's degree in psychology. And to me, that was a huge accomplishment. And knowing that I can do this, like, you can have a terrible high school experience. Yet that doesn't mean you can't succeed in life. I got my bachelor's degree in psychology. I'm in the fire department. I'm an airport fire lieutenant. These are all, when I got promoted, I was like, hey, I can make it through this basic training. I can make it through the fire department academy at Barking Sands. That was a huge accomplishment, making it through the military, getting my bachelor's degree. All those things are huge stepping stones, knowing that I can make it whatever God puts me through, whatever adversities I'm going to get through them, and just be a better person from those adversities. And then another one was I started my own nonprofit, Eastside Sports Club. So for me, that was a huge way of giving back to the community and the kids that have the same struggles, knowing that they need that support. They need that exposure, that ability. Hey, he believes in me. I can do this. Because when I was young, I felt like there was nobody who believed in me.
Yeah, man. No, it makes all the difference.
Right? So having somebody believe in you makes all the difference in life. So that was a huge accomplishment, knowing that, hey, these guys can do this. Why can't I do it? Why can't I be there? Why can't I do this? Those are things that, like I said, gave me that driving force, and that knowing if I can accomplish this, I can accomplish anything. I can write this book. I can share my experiences, and hopefully people can take from those experiences and, hey, you know what? He's been through a lot. Why can't I do this? There's nothing holding me back. Just yourself.
Of course. Kyle, listen, man, as we close out, you started to talk about your nonprofit. You also mentioned the Eastside Sports Club. I want to hear a little bit more about this, man. Give us the origin story behind it. Tell us a little bit more about them and really how people can get involved.
So Eastside Sports Club probably started about 3 or 4 years ago. I started coaching my 2 boys in basketball. And so now they're in middle school now, but they started when they're 5, 6, also soccer. So it's a nonprofit that does basketball. I try to provide fundraisers and opportunities for kids to travel out in to get that exposure by putting on tournaments, also futsal tournaments, basketball, basketball tournaments, just to provide opportunities and exposure and for kids to keep working on their craft, to know that what if this basketball, soccer, what any sport they choose, they got to work through that craft.
Yeah.
Because I find sports to be like life to a lot. There's a lot of analogies you can have in being resilient. Hey, you make a mistake, that's fine. You got to get back up and go harder. You make a bad pass, get back on defense. Or on soccer, it's being able to work with people and being able to be coachable in the sense that we're all human. We make mistakes, but if we can't face those mistakes and work through those mistakes and figure, okay, I can be better from last time. Or a loss. A loss is the ability you have to grow. A loss in a game or any sort of thing you face, it's not something that should be looked down on. It's something you can grow from. That just means you have to get better at what you're doing. So through my nonprofit, that is my goal, is to work through life's struggles and give them the abilities that through team sports, they can make it through whatever they want, whatever goals and obstacles that come their way. But they have to work through whatever craft they decide to work on. And having these tournaments and having kids' ability to be able to travel, to give them the exposure to, because Kauai in general is a small place, right? So if you don't give them opportunity to be seen by the world, they might be a gem, but if you're not exposed and not be able to see that they can make it, then it's harder for them.
Kyle, I appreciate that, man. Listen, there's so much that I'm taking from what you said. And listen, people, first and foremost, pick up your copies, okay? I'm going to say it again, it's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble, we got it. Paradise Lost, add it to your shelf. Yes. There is a lot to be gained here, man. And one of the biggest things that I'm taking from this, and it's something that I've mentioned before in previous episodes, and it's something that I believe wholeheartedly, man, but people, perception is everything. The power of our mind, man, it is unmatched. And don't get me wrong, like it's not as easy as the words, right? When you're going through it, man, you gotta go through it. But finding those silver linings, like he mentioned, having someone that's going to be there to give you that extra support, man. Can we just talk first and foremost about the village and how important that is to have that village around you? My goodness. I've always been very fortunate to come from such a large family and a supportive one, but I've recognized now, as someone that is still very early in this parenting adventure, I have 2 kids now, and both of them are very, very young. My oldest is only 2 years old. But, oh my goodness, man, the village that it takes to raise them is crucial. But also, I recognize it even in my 2-year-old. And we're going through those terrible 2s right now on the precipice of those quote unquote 3-nager years. And I'm not looking forward to that. But my goodness, like I can see how important my presence is, and not even presence like just being there, man. Presence being there, the way I speak to her, the way I allow her to go through her feelings. And there's so much learning that's happening. You watch it and it's magnificent, but at the same time, my goodness, is it scary as hell. The burden that I have knowing that I am in charge of the mentality of this other growing human being, man. And listen, I'm up for the challenge, right? I'm saying it, and I know it could be potentially taken as a negative connotation. I'm up for the challenge, and I'm looking forward to it. But there is that burden, right? And Kyle, what you're talking about, man, through this book, through your nonprofit, it resonates tremendously. And people, it doesn't stop with this book. This book is a buffer. It assists. But please understand, if you take nothing else from this, even when paradise feels lost, I promise you the most important things can still be found. He was able to find it through his education and so many other things. Whatever that is for you, don't lose hope, man. And I get it, in the moment, oh my goodness, you just want to sweep it under the rug and fade away. But try not to. Put up that fight, man. And even if you got it, because listen, I'm right there, man. Like, sometimes you got to fake it till you make it. And I was doing it, boy. I was faking it to the cows came home. But it's something that your future self is going to thank you for. So head on over there, pick up copies, man. Grab this book, share this episode with someone who needs it. And I know he's a surfer, so I'm gonna use a surfing. Just keep riding, okay? Get on that wave, because the best waves, they always come after the storm. And I've only been surfing a few times, but Kyle, that's what I'm told. I believe there's some truth to it. But if I ever make my way out to Hawaii, man, I'm gonna look you up, and we're gonna hit the waves, man. We're gonna do some surfing. I've gone a few times here in LA, and my goodness, it's riveting, brother. I love it. It's so much fun. Listen, people, pick it up, man. You know what to do. We're going to close out here, Kyle. This has been a true pleasure. You are an absolute inspiration. Keep up the fantastic work. And once again, thank you for being a guest through People of Distinction, brother.
Thank you. Thank you, Benji. Thank you for having me and sharing your time and sharing your knowledge. And like I said, get out there, get the book, and, there's going to be more to come.